Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I would like to review 4 apps which are 100% free and could complement any fitness program. All of these apps are available for iOS. Not sure however if there are comparable products or if their direct versions are available for Android. Let's get into it. So first app we're going to have a look at is called Gym Math for iOS. I'm not sure if this is also available for Android, but have a look. If it is there, it's another free app. So basically you got a built-in plate calculator as well as a 1 rep max calculator. Let's have a look at the plate calculator to begin with. So let's say hypothetically you're trying to bench 235 and you're trying to figure out what kind of plates you need on each side of the bar. Pop in 235, hit done, and what you get is, assuming the bar is 45 pounds of course, 245 per side and 1 5-pounder per side. Let's say for fun, because many of us out there squat 800 pounds. So let's find out what 800 pounds would be. Again, put in 800 pounds, hit done. And in this case, I would need 545s per side, 235s per side, 325s per side, 1 5, and 1 2.5 per side. Again, assuming the bar is 45 pounds. So I guess you guys can tell this could save quite a bit of time in the gym when you're trying to figure out what exactly you need to put on the bar. Let's move on to the 1 rep max calculator. So in this case, you're trying to figure out what your 1 rep max is, or what you need to hit a 1 rep max. So let's say you got 220 on the bar for fun here. Okay, you hit 12 repetitions. Click done. Your 1 RM is through 16.8 pounds, right off the hop. So it also goes into more detail and explains what your 1 RM would be at the given rep range. So 1 rep would be 316 pounds, 2, 300.96, 3, 294.62, and so on. And it gives you also a percentage of your 1 rep max. So for those of you who are doing volume training, this is a great tool to try to figure out what your percentage of your 1 rep max is. So for example, if you're doing a powerlifting program and it needs to know what 90% of your 1 RM is, in this case, if you can do 220 pounds with 12 reps, 90% of your 1 RM would be 285.12 pounds at 4 reps. So very handy tool. And you can go all the way up to 12 reps. The only downside about this app, while seeing it's free, you do have ads at the bottom, but other than that, it's a pretty solid app. You also have a timer if ever you need one in the gym, so you got a timer / stopwatch. You have a history. You could save all of this data if you want, all your numbers. I never have, but you can in case you need a record. And you have multiple settings, such as you could change from pounds to kg. You can also go in here and show or input how many plates you have of each and what your bar weight is. So some of us have X amount of plates in our gym, and this way, if you put what you have in your gym in the calculator, it will always work with what you have, so you never have to adjust based on lack of equipment. So you can also change the different formulas. As you can see, there's 4 different formulas in here for calculating your 1 rep max. So if you have a preference in formula, you can change it right there. So anyway, that's the gist of this app. So I highly recommend it for somebody who needs something to calculate their 1 RM or to calculate their plates. Next app we're going to have a look at is called HIIT. So this app is good for setting up your own HIIT workouts if you're doing interval training, and for logging them and keeping track. In this case, I already have a HIIT workout or HIIT cycling workout I set up. I'm just going to go in here and go over quickly to give you a very high level of what's going on here. So you can set your warm-up, your cool-down, and then your interval training. So basically in here you start your workout with a warm-up, 130. After the 130 is done, you go straight into your cycling over here. I'm going to go into the cycling. You can set your intervals. So in this case, all my low intensity intervals are set at 1:30, while my high intensity is set at 30 seconds. And then I set it at how many intervals I want to do. So here I got it set at 6. So essentially what's going to happen with this workout is I'm going to start it. The timer's going to go for 1:30. I'm going to hit the bike and I'm just going to do a light warm-up. After the counter's done, we jump right into the cycling. Again, it's another minute 30. It's again low intensity, so I finish that. Once the timer's down again, I go all out for a high intensity 30-second bout. After the 30 seconds is done, I go back to low intensity. This cycle repeats itself 6 times, and at the end of the last high intensity cycle, we go right into the cool down over here for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, it's done. Save the workout, and you're all good. Over here, it gives you basically a very, it's not very detailed, but it gives you all your HIIT workouts that you've performed, how long they've lasted for, and what type of workout it was, and what date and what time. As you guys can tell, I do a whole lot of HIIT training over here. This screen is just full of HIIT workouts, so that's basically the gist of it right there. And then you got a bunch of disclaimers and information they have over here to explain what different verbiage is and so on. So that is your app called HIIT. Very simple, and again, free. Before I leave this app, I'm going to show you guys quickly the interface for running a workout. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to pick the HIIT cycling workout, and basically it brings me to the timer. Minute 30, again, that's my cool down. I'm going to hit start, and it's basically counting down. So this is basically a timer app, and it does a great job at organizing all your different intervals. So it'll count down to minute 30, and then moves on to the next. You can pause the workout and so on. So it tells you up here, top left corner, warm up. It basically tells you on screen what you're supposed to be doing at every stage. So again, very, very cool app. So I'm gonna cancel that, back to routines, and that is all for that app. The next app we're gonna have a look at is called Strength Level. Again, another free app. Just gonna go in here. So this is setting it up for the first time. I had recently uninstalled this and reinstalled it just now for this review. But this is basically how the app starts. Put in your body weight. So 297 pounds. Put in the birthday. Alright, so 56 years old. And male, we'll leave it on male. So basically, here you can track all your big lifts. And you can compare your big lifts to where you should be. So in this case, let's say today I did a squat. I squatted 250 pounds. And I did it for 8 reps. So I just entered it in there. As you can see on this meter over here, you got untrained, beginner, novice, intermediate, advanced, elite. So in comparison to a lot of people in this database, you would be considered intermediate on this level. If you can do 250 pounds for 8 reps at 297.6 pounds body weight at 56 years old. I'm gonna save it, and boom, it saves up your 1RM is 310, and you are an intermediate. Let's jump into the bench press. Again, 165 pounds. We'll do for 5 reps. In this case, again, I would be considered an intermediate if I could bench 165 for 5 reps. Again, at 297.6 pounds and at the age 56. I'll save that one, and boom, it's in there as well. Deadlift. So I can only deadlift 70 pounds for 2 reps. It would mean I would be untrained at my current level and an area of improvement to try to move up. So this is a good app to kind of give you an idea of where you should be, but in no way, shape, or form should it be used as for ego lifting and to push yourself to hit these numbers because some app tells you you should. Just gives you a guideline in case you're wondering where you are and where you compare to others. So this other tab here gives you a bit of a screen of what's getting hit and what's trained, what's elite, and so on, based on your muscle group, based on the lifts you've performed. So Here it shows, since we did those first 3 lifts, we did the bench, the squat, and the deadlift, and left everything else. It shows a percentage of all the areas the muscles have been worked as a result of those muscles, or as a result of those lifts. So if I click next, again, it's just back squat specific. Click next again, bench press specific, deadlift specific, and so on. So it gives you a little bit of a idea of what's being worked. You can also check your trends by hitting the next tab for every individual lift to see where you are from week to week. So you can log your lifts every time you perform them, and it will show you a graph basically on how you're progressing. So if you keep adding weight to the bar, you will have a graph that will show you elevating in the different levels of at our beginner, novice, intermediate, and so on. And again, for all of those lifts that they have in that first screen. And info kind of gives you a high level again of what every level signifies. So for example, elite is pro athlete, advanced trained for multiple years, intermediate trained regularly for up to 2 years, novice trained regularly for several months, and so on. So all the information is in here if you guys wish to look more into it. So pretty simple app. Again, it's free. It gives you some neat details of where you should be in your lifts. But again, I would not put too much stock behind this, and I wouldn't be using this app as a driver and push the boundaries if you're not ready to lift a certain amount of weight, right? Again, you can use different units, pounds or kgs, and your gender. And that's it for this app. And the last app I want to review is the Measure tool for iOS. So this comes right on the iPhone, and why would we need to use this app for fitness, you figure? Well, I don't use it very often, but from time to time you guys may come across this as well, where you're doing a certain exercise and you need to set your incline bench at a certain angle. So I can't personally eyeball it and figure out if it's 33 degrees or what just by looking at it. So in this case, I will fire up this tool. I'll open it up. I'll set it on the level, and then I will set my bench to 33 degrees or 34 or 35, wherever it clicks into, and I know exactly where it's at. Simple. So that's all I use that tool for. It comes in handy again if you're trying to figure out what kind of angles you're trying to set your bench at. Thank you for watching, and if you have any free apps that you use, please share in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.